Hello, this is Christy. In this quick tutorial for Descript, I would like to show you how you can resize or reframe a video in Descript if it's landscape and you want to turn it into a portrait video or vice versa. I want to show you the steps to take and the way to do this without having to adjust every single little cut of your video. If you're in a composition and you made edits and cuts to your video or audio, the video is going to have many slices, as you'll see in the timeline, but then when you try to resize one of them, just that slice is changing, just that piece of the video is changing to your new aspect ratio or your new dimensions. And then that makes it, very hard to reframe an entire video or episode or whatever you are editing manually. So I'm going to show you and walk you through the steps to take a landscape video. So if you see this project that I have here, it is a Zoom recording that I have already transcribed and made some edits to in Descript. And you can see it has both I and my guest on the screen side by side, which is obviously this is a landscape 16:9 aspect, the way that Zoom creates it with multiple guests. So what I want to do, let's say for example that I want to have just my guest on the screen in a vertical clip that I can maybe share to social media. That means I have to reframe or change the aspect ratio of this clip and then resize the video to fill my screen. So what I'm talking about is this. If you look at the timeline down here, you can see both my and my guest's speech is different colors. So if I click on this one, for example, it selects the video. And let's say that I want to turn this into a vertical clip. So I go to the top right to the video settings button there, and I have it now set to landscape at full HD resolution. So what I want to do first, don't even worry about selecting anything or making any changes here. Just go there and change the new aspect ratio. So let's suppose I want to do a portrait video, which is 9:16. When you select that, your entire scene or canvas, or I don't know what this is called, the video area changes to portrait. And if you resize this pane here, just drag the edge, you can actually see the black here and then the dark gray for the outside of the screen area. But of course now my video is right in the middle there, in the center, and I need to resize this. The problem is, if I open the properties panel and I start dragging these particular boxes for the layout, you can see I can make it larger. Just click and slide, and obviously I have to have my playhead inside of that area that I'm resizing. So you can see that I drag and I resize. You can drag the X position to frame like this, and you can keep scaling until you fill the screen, adjust that, and keep going like that, right? So I'm getting near to a reframe of this clip in a vertical video, just like that. Okay, not all of me fits in there, but that's not important right now. So the 200%, that is the maximum you can go for the X, I believe. So the height and the size, you can change that a bit, so that, when you're happy with the framing, let's suppose that's fine. I'm a bit to the side there, so maybe I should go a bit smaller. I don't know. What I did now, I have reframed my myself in the frame, and it's a vertical video, as you can see. Now the problem is, if I scroll my mouse wheel down here on the timeline, you can see that I've actually just adjusted that segment. If I move my playhead beyond that segment, you will see that I've actually not resized everything else. So if I go outside of this, now the video is back to that size. So obviously that didn't do it. So the way to do this is really in the timeline. The first thing you do before you start resizing it and positioning the video, click on the video and then select all. Control A on Windows. I think it's Command A on the Mac, to make sure that you have selected the entire composition. And I'm not saying that you should select text because that doesn't do it. If you just click inside of your text and Control A, you're just selecting the text. And although down here it looks like a selection has been made, it is not the selection of the video. It is a selection of the script. So that's not what I want to do. What I want to do is down here, I want to click on one of these cut segments, and you can see it has this black outline around it. That indicates that particular segment is selected, and then Control A to make sure you select everything. If you want to make sure, just use your mouse wheel to scroll back, scroll down, and you can now see that the entire composition is selected. And now I can make my reframe, my repositioning, my resizing. And you can actually see down here, up here on the inspection panel, it says multi in 3 of these boxes. That means because I have adjusted one clip, I moved it, I resized it, I positioned it in a different place, and then the other ones are not positioned, they're in their original position, Descript says, in your selection, you have multiple different values for the clips. And in fact, I can move my playhead around and I can see that, of course, the rest of the clip is filling the screen there. And just this one segment is correct the way that I want. So now with this selection, with the whole timeline selected, you can go and start sliding, and you can start resizing, and you can start adjusting the position of the clip. So I think it was 200% there, and the size was about 600%. You can punch in the numbers because, it's faster than having to drag these things. Check this out. Now I am reframed, and because I had everything selected, then the entire clip is now correctly showing me full screen. As you can see, I'm scrolling through it here and all the way to the end. I am not actually appearing small on the screen anymore. So this is one way to reframe video in Descript to ensure that the whole video gets resized in a composition even after you've made edits and cuts and so on. So this is the same procedure if I want to maybe reframe to a square video. Go to the top, select from the drop down for orientation, select square. And now my video is square. You can resize this to just actually see what it is like. And if you must, make any adjustments in the framing, maybe positioning. There you go. And when you're happy, this is the reframed video. And now watch. If I just go, because I still had that selection active, I'm going all the way and it is all reframed. So the position. Of course, if you really do want to have separate portions of the video in a different position, then you have to go to that point, make sure you cut that piece of video and adjust that one individually. For example, as it is here, look, my guest actually starts talking and I'm not saying anything here. He has his own
YouTube channel. You need to check it.
So my guest is talking. I'm not talking, so I'm just sitting there on the screen. Well, if for this particular portion, I want my guest to be on the screen, I select just his clip. You can see here by the indication of the different color for the speech, and I can use this box to bring him in the frame like so. So now, watch, he's talking, and then when the speaker changes, I should be showing up on the screen.
Audio to separate tracks.
Yeah, hi Chris, thanks for having me on. So this is a kind of a multicam kind of idea. I know Descript has a function for the multicam detection, but if you need to do this for a short clip or for a short, a few exchanges between two speakers or whatever, you can also do it manually because the multicam actually I think doesn't do much if you are on a single track. So I'm not sure about that. So there you have it. I hope this was useful. I don't know if you are in a situation like this, but this is what I do when I need to reframe clips, especially if I need to reuse content for social media from like an interview and I want to show just my guest on the screen. but keeping the audio and maybe the fancy captions, you can add those in here on top, and the video will just keep playing. And you can put other stuff on top. So if I select everything here, Control-Shift-K to add fancy captions, there you go. I have now a video with fancy captions on, playing just on top. People are switching their interviews for their... So there you go. So I hope this was helpful. If you find this useful, like it and share it and subscribe to my channel. I will have more Descript videos coming on my channel very soon with many tips and tricks, workflows, and, you know, answering a lot of questions that I get. So thank you for watching. See you on the next one.